All right, so are you ready to explore the world of asteroids today?
Absolutely. I'm always up for a cosmic adventure.
Well, we've got a fascinating article here from GB News all about Asteroid 8087 Alinda.
Oh, yeah, Alinda. That one definitely got our attention.
Right. It's described as being larger than 99% of all known space rocks out there.
It's a real behemoth.
And get this, it recently zipped past Earth.
Pretty close shave, too, in astronomical terms at least.
So how close are we talking here? The article mentions 7.63 million miles, which honestly I can't even fathom.
Yeah, that's about 32 times the distance between Earth and the Moon. So think of it this way. If you could somehow hop in a car and drive straight to the Moon.
Straight to the Moon, like a cosmic road trip.
Exactly. It would take you about 4 months. Now imagine doing that trip 32 times back to back.
Wow. Okay, now I'm starting to get a sense of the scale.
That's the kind of distance we're talking about with Alinda's flyby.
But still, if it was that far away, why all the fuss?
Well, 7.63 million miles might sound like a lot here on Earth. But when you're dealing with objects hurtling through space at tens of thousands of miles per hour, it's considered a pretty close call.
Especially considering its size, right?
Exactly. And with Alinda's size, any slight shift in its trajectory could pose a significant risk down the line.
The article actually compares it to the dinosaur-killing asteroid. Kind of a scary thought.
It is a sobering reminder of what's possible. Scientists estimate the dinosaur-killing asteroid was about 3 times larger than Alinda.
3 times larger. Wow. So while Alinda isn't a direct threat right now, is it?
Not currently, no. But its size definitely serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences if an asteroid of that scale were to collide with us.
So let's talk about those consequences. The article throws around phrases like millions of nuclear bombs worth of energy. I mean, how do you even begin to comprehend that?
It's truly mind-boggling. But let's try to break it down. An asteroid like Alinda impacting Earth would release an unimaginable amount of energy. It's like the most powerful earthquake you can imagine, multiplied many times over.
So the initial impact would be?
Devastating.
Yeah.
It would create a gigantic crater, potentially miles wide, and vaporize anything in its immediate vicinity.
Okay, and then what?
Well, the shock waves would ripple outwards, causing widespread devastation. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions on a global scale, you name it.
And the article also mentions tsunamis.
Oh, absolutely. Coastal areas would be inundated by monstrous tsunamis hundreds of feet high.
Swallowing entire cities.
And it doesn't bear thinking about.
Oh, right.
And then there's the dust and debris blasted into the atmosphere.
Blocking out the sun? That sounds like a recipe for a global catastrophe.
It is. This is what's known as an impact winter. The dust and debris would linger in the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and causing global temperatures to plummet.
And what would that lead to?
Widespread devastation of ecosystems, agriculture, and ultimately human survival.
Wow, that paints a pretty bleak picture. But thankfully this time Alinda is just passing by, right?
That's right. Based on its current trajectory, it poses no immediate threat to Earth.
That's a relief. But its close approach has definitely gotten our attention.
Absolutely. It's a valuable reminder that we need to be prepared.
So what does being prepared even look like in this scenario? Are we talking Bruce Willis drilling into asteroids like in the movies?
Not quite. Although the concept of deflecting an asteroid is something scientists are actively exploring.
Okay, good. So we've moved beyond just blowing them up.
Thankfully, yes. Blowing up an asteroid could actually create a field of smaller but still dangerous asteroids.
Right. So what are the alternatives? What are scientists working on?
Well, one intriguing concept is the gravity tractor.
A gravity tractor. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It does. But the idea is to use a spacecraft's gravitational pull to ever so slightly nudge the asteroid off course. Over a long enough period, this gentle nudge could be enough to avert a collision.
So instead of brute force, we're using a more subtle approach.
Exactly. It's a delicate dance of physics.
There's also the kinetic impactor, right?
That's right, involving slamming a spacecraft into the asteroid at high speed to adjust its trajectory.
So it's a combination of approaches.
Exactly. We're not just sitting ducks. There are actual plans in place to defend our planet from these potential threats.
It's both terrifying and reassuring at the same time, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Alinda's visit, while harmless this time, definitely highlights the importance of planetary defense.
And the continued investment in research and technology.
Exactly. We need to be vigilant and proactive in safeguarding our planet.
So this massive asteroid cruised by Earth. It gave us a glimpse into the potential dangers out there, but also into the incredible work being done to protect us.
And it really highlights the need for continued research, international collaboration, and a healthy dose of respect for the forces at play in our universe.
This has been a wild ride so far, and we're just getting started. We'll dive even deeper into the fascinating world of planetary defense after a quick break. So we've talked about being prepared, but let's say we do spot an asteroid on a collision course with Earth. What happens next? Is there some kind of global bat signal?
Well, not quite a bad signal. But there are definitely protocols in place.
So who's in charge here?
Organizations like the Planetary Defense Coordination Office at NASA, they're constantly monitoring the skies, tracking potentially hazardous objects, and running simulations to assess the risk.
So there's a plan, at least on paper. But how do you even begin to prepare for something like that on a global scale?
That's the real challenge. It involves a lot of international collaboration, sharing, data coordinating resources, and of course, constantly refining those technologies and strategies for deflection.
I imagine there are a lot of logistical hurdles.
Absolutely. It's not just about having the technology, but being able to deploy it effectively and in a very short time frame. We're talking about international agreements, launch capabilities, a whole host of complex considerations.
And what about the public? I mean, how do you think people would react? Would it be a mass panic like in the movies?
It's hard to say for sure. Hopefully with transparent communication and a clear plan of action, we could avoid widespread panic. But it's definitely a factor that needs to be considered.
It's easy to get caught up in the science fiction of it all, but this is real life. We're talking about the potential survival of our species. It's a pretty heavy thought.
It is.
Yeah.
It really puts things into perspective. It underscores the interconnectedness of humanity and how important global cooperation is in the face of these existential threats.
This whole conversation makes you realize how fragile our existence on Earth really is. We're constantly bombarded by cosmic debris.
That's true. Most of it burns up in the atmosphere or lands harmlessly in the ocean, though.
Right. But events like Alinda's flyby, even though it wasn't a direct threat, serve as a potent reminder that we're part of a much larger and more unpredictable system.
Exactly. We tend to take our planet's stability for granted.
So what can we, the average person, do to contribute to planetary defense? I mean, we're not all rocket scientists or world leaders.
Well, for starters, stay informed. Learn about the threats, the science, and the ongoing efforts to protect our planet. Support space exploration and research initiatives, and engage in thoughtful discussions like this one.
So basically be aware and be engaged.
Exactly. The more we understand the challenges, the better equipped we'll be to support the solutions.
That's actually pretty empowering to know. We're not just passive bystanders in all of this.
Not at all. Planetary defense is a collective responsibility. It requires a global effort and an informed public to drive progress.
Speaking of the public, the article mentioned that people in the Northern Hemisphere might actually be able to see Alinda with the naked eye during its closest approach.
That's right. It's a reminder that these celestial objects, while potentially dangerous, are also sources of awe and wonder.
They offer a glimpse into the vastness and complexity of the universe.
Exactly.
So we've talked about the science, the technology, the global implications, but there's another layer to this conversation that I think is important to address. The ethical side of things.
Absolutely. That's a crucial aspect. As we develop increasingly sophisticated planetary defense mechanisms, we need to grapple with the ethical dilemmas they present.
Like who gets to decide how we respond to a potential asteroid threat?
Exactly. And what criteria do we use to prioritize resources and actions?
It's a global issue with no easy answers.
Right. It raises issues of global equity, resource allocation, decision-making authority, on an unprecedented scale.
It's like a real-life thought experiment. It forces us to confront fundamental questions about our values, our priorities, and our responsibilities to future generations.
Precisely. And as we venture further into the realm of planetary defense, these ethical considerations will only become more and more important.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but they are conversations we need to be having. The future of humanity may very well depend on it.
Okay. So we've covered the science, the technology, global collaboration, and even the ethical dimensions. But there's still one piece of the puzzle that I'm struggling with.
What's that?
It's this whole idea of pouring resources into planetary defense when we have so many pressing issues here on Earth. Climate change, poverty, hunger, shouldn't those be our top priorities?
It's a valid point, and a question a lot of people raise. Why spend money on something that might not happen for centuries when there are immediate crises demanding our attention?
Exactly. It feels like we're trying to build a fire escape when the house is already on fire.
I understand the sentiment, but I think it's important to remember that advancements in one area often have ripple effects in others. The technology we develop for deflecting asteroids could also have applications here on Earth. For instance, the precision tracking systems we use to monitor asteroids can also be used to monitor climate change or track space debris.
So it's not just about building giant space lasers, it's about pushing the boundaries of science and technology in ways that benefit humanity as a whole.
Exactly. And fostering international collaboration, which is essential for tackling any global challenge, whether it comes from space or from within our own atmosphere.
So maybe it's not an either-or situation. Investing in space exploration and planetary defense could actually be seen as an investment in a more sustainable and secure future for all of us.
That's a great way to put it. It's about expanding our horizons, pushing the boundaries of knowledge, and ultimately ensuring the long-term survival of our species.
That's actually a very inspiring way to look at it. So where do we go from here? What can we as individuals do to contribute to this effort?
Stay curious. Read about space exploration, planetary defense, the challenges facing our planet. Support scientific research and education. And most importantly, engage in thoughtful discussions like this one. The more we understand these issues, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about the future.
Well said. And hey, maybe some of our listeners will be inspired to become the next generation of scientists, engineers, and astronauts who will help us navigate these challenges.
I certainly hope so. The future of humanity depends on it.
All right, so let's recap what we've learned from our deep dive into Asteroid, Alinda. It's a massive space rock that recently zoomed past Earth. It served as a cosmic wake-up call, a reminder of the potential dangers lurking out there, but also of the incredible ingenuity and determination of humanity to protect our planet. And ultimately, it's a call to action, to learn to explore and to work together to ensure a brighter future for all of us.
And if you happen to live in the northern hemisphere, you might even be able to catch a glimpse of Alinda in the night sky. It's a humbling sight, reminding us of the vastness and mystery of the universe we inhabit.
That's it for this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed exploring the world of planetary defense with us. Until next time, keep looking up and keep asking questions. It's this whole idea of pouring so many resources into planetary defense when we have so many other problems here on Earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what?
Like climate change, poverty, hunger. I mean, shouldn't those be our top priorities?
Well, that's a really valid point, and it's a question a lot of people bring up. Why should we spend money on something that might not happen for centuries when we have so many immediate crises that need our attention right now?
Right. It feels like we're trying to build a fire escape while the house is already on fire.
I get that. But I think we need to remember that advancements in one area can often lead to breakthroughs in other areas.
So you're saying that the technology we develop for deflecting asteroids could also help us here on Earth?
Exactly. For instance, those precision tracking systems that we use to monitor asteroids.
Right.
They can also be used to monitor climate change or to track space debris.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just about building giant space lasers to blow up asteroids.
No, not at all. It's about pushing the boundaries of science and technology in ways that ultimately benefit all of humanity.
Yeah, it's about fostering international collaboration, too.
Absolutely. That's key for tackling any kind of global challenge, whether it's coming from space or from right here on our own planet.
So maybe it's not an either-or situation then.
Right.
Maybe investing in space exploration and planetary defense is actually a way to invest in a more sustainable and secure future for everyone.
I think that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's about expanding our horizons, pushing the boundaries of knowledge, and making sure that humanity can survive and thrive in the long run.
Wow. When you put it that way, it's actually pretty inspiring. So where do we go from here? What can we do as individuals to contribute to this effort?
Well, I think the most important thing is to stay curious. Keep learning about space exploration and planetary defense. Read about the challenges that are facing our planet.
Stay informed, basically.
Exactly. And support scientific research and education. And engage in thoughtful discussions about these issues. The more we understand, the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about our future.
Well said. And hey, maybe some of our listeners will even be inspired to become the next generation of scientists, engineers, and astronauts.
I hope so.
The ones who will help us navigate these challenges.
Absolutely. The future of humanity depends on it.
All right, so let's wrap up our deep dive into Asteroid, Alinda. We've learned that it's a massive space rock that recently zoomed past Earth. It was a bit of a wake-up call, reminding us of the potential dangers out there in space.
Definitely.
But it also highlighted the incredible ingenuity and determination of humanity to protect our planet.
That's right. We're not just giving up.
No, we're actively working to find solutions. And I think that's a really hopeful message. Ultimately, this is a call to action, to learn, to explore, to work together, to create a brighter future for all of us.
And if you live in the northern hemisphere, you might even be able to catch a glimpse of Alinda in the night sky.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a humbling sight, a reminder of the vastness and mystery of the universe we live in.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into Asteroid Alinda. We hope you enjoyed exploring the world of planetary defense with us. Until next time, keep looking up and keep asking questions.